Frogs in the fountain. Marigolds grow almost everywhere in our beautiful country, and they're constantly in demand at festival marriages, religious ceremonies, arrivals and departures, and functions of all kinds. If you happen to be guest of honor at a place occasion, be prepared to be smothered in garland of marigold. I'm a little wary of these welcoming garlands because no on one occasion a sleeping bee nestling between the petals flew out and stung me under my chin. It made for a very short speech. When I told young Goher about this incident, he asked, "Is that how you got your double chin?" Actually, the double chin came from my grandmother, who was a large, generously proportioned lady with a number of chins. Goher and sister Sarah liked to play with my double chin, but I would never have dared to touch my old granny on her chin or anywhere else. She was a stern reverse woman who believed little boys should speak only when spoken to. She fed us reasonably well. She kept a khansama, but she did not believe in second helpings, with the result that I have spent the rest of my life indulging in second helpings. 2 mutton koftas were all that it was allowed with my plate of rice. I like koftas still though, and it was a painful for a small boy to have to stop at 2. Now I'm grown man with an independent source of income. I help myself to 4. Who can stop me? Dr. Beg, who drops in to see me once a year, remarked that I looked overweight and that I should cut down on my food intake. "What did you have for lunch?" he asked. "Kofta curry and rice." "How much rice?" "Just 2 small helpings." "And how many koftas?" "Only 4." "Don't have more than 2," he advised. "Yes, Granny," I said. Dr. Beg gave me a puzzled look. "Sorry," I said, "that I thought you were my grandmother." Now he thinks I've got Alzheimer's. Talking of marigolds, Granny surrounded her house with them as she believed they kept snakes away. Apparently, snakes do not like the pungent aroma. I too believed in this folklore until I was told by an expert on reptiles that snakes do not have strong sense of smell and would be impervious to the scent of flowers to other odors. May so, but I don't recall ever seeing a snake in Granny's garden, although I did not see them elsewhere. However, we did not have plenty of frogs, thanks to the disused fountain installed by the grandfather but neglected after his death. This fountain had not functioned for a couple of years, but the little reservoir in which it stood had filled up with rainwater and was now covered with water lilies. One day, after an expedition to the canal headwork, I brought some small fish in a bucket and introduced them to the lily pond. I had not paid much attention to the tadpoles swimming around the bucket. Well, the fish died as they were used to fresh running water and not stagnant water. But the tadpoles did very well, and before long we had frogs leaping over all over the place. Very soon the frogs multiplied. They would come into the veranda at night and keep us awake with their incessant singing and warbling. "I can't sleep a wink," complained Aunt Mabel, who was sensitive to noise and allergic to chores made up entirely of bass singers. "They're surrounding you," I said. It was a long time since anyone had surrounded Aunt Mabel, a comfy spinster in her early 40s. "They'll go away once the rains finish," said Gran hopefully. But they did not go away. One day screams came out from the bathroom, Aunt Mabel screaming for help. Granny in the khansama and I ran to her aid. And discovered that the cause of her distress was a large frog swimming around the pool. I pulled the flush chain. There was a loud gurgling sound, a combination of frog and flush, and out jumped the frog, straight into Aunt Mabel's arm. She left for Lucknow that day, saying she would be safer in a zoo where her cousin was the superintendent. Well, Granny hired some laborers to empty the lily box and round up as many frogs as they could. They were put into a basket and taken to some mysterious destination. Perhaps they have been exported to China, I mused, or even to France. "They eat frog there, don't they?" "Only the legs," said Granny. But they had not been exported. The khansama told me later that the basket had been opened and dumped near a pool behind the railway station, and before long they were all over the station, waiting rooms and platforms, until the station master had a brilliant idea. He had the frog rounded up by a number of street urchins who wanted to make a little pocket money. He then had them packed firmly into several well-ventilated boxes. The crates were labeled "To Lucknow Zoo, Eton, Superintendent Sahib," and dispatched as a free gift. "The zoo is the best place for creatures great and small," opined our philosophical station master, who was previously sent a consignment of stray station dogs.